I'm Hannah with the Scott County Public Library here in Georgetown, Kentucky, and this is Focus on Photos with Hannah. That is our name for this series, and that's what we're going to stick with. So I'm glad you guys are here, and today we're going to talk a little bit about travel photography. This is that time of year we're trying to get in our last-minute trips, or maybe we're planning some fall trips, and travel looks a little different this year than it has in the past for many of us. Due to the pandemic, people are sticking a little bit closer to home. We're hiking, we're, trying to do a little bit more social distancing. So I'm just going to give you a few tips on how to get some pretty nice photos from whatever travel adventures you may be doing this year or in the future. So one of the things that I always try to do when I do my travel photos is to get a little bit of a different angle on the thing I'm taking a picture of. Obviously, I'm going to do your stereotypical center the photo. I take a lot of pictures. I think that that's a good idea for people to do, especially this day and age with digital. You can take as many pictures as you want, really, and we're not limited to a roll of film. So tilt your camera, get low, get high, move around it a little bit. Try to get something different that not everybody has taken the same angle of. There's a lot of times when you go to monuments or historic places, things like that, that you are very limited on your view of whatever it is you're taking your picture of. Sometimes things are even roped off, so you can only take your picture from a designated area. Some places are really great and they say, hey, this is a great spot for a picture. Take advantage of it. You can play with your light a little bit. You can hopefully be there. You can plan your time so that you're there when the lighting conditions are different. You may be able to get there early or later in the day and be able to get something that looks a little bit different than what everybody else has. So that can be a challenge to make your picture stand out from others, but it's your picture and you make it look the way that you want it to look. Another tip I just want to say really quick is if you'll look back to the very first video that I did in this series, it was on outdoor photography lighting. Go back into our Facebook archives and you can watch that. It'll give you some really good tips on shooting during the day and bright sunlight and things like that. So that'll help you out as well. So as far as the angles go, I'm going to show you a couple pictures that I have taken throughout this video. And the first one I'm going to show you here is the United States Marine Corps Memorial in Arlington National Cemetery. And a lot of people have seen this monument. A lot of people have seen it in person, and a lot of people know what it is just because of the photo, because they've seen the photo enough. So this is something that's been photographed so many times. So when I took my pictures of it, I wanted to get something that looked a little bit different. I got pretty close, I got pretty low on the ground, and I was able to get this image. I was also lucky that it was an absolutely gorgeous day, and I had some pretty cool cloud cover that was able to give me a neat background. The only thing that I was unhappy with this particular image was that the flag was wrapped and I wanted it to be flowing. Nothing I could do about that. And I worked with the sun in that particular photo to get it to come out the way that I wanted it to. The next picture you're going to see is at Niagara Falls. If you have been to Niagara Falls, then you're aware that you are not going to get this particular photograph from anywhere on land. If you're on the American side, you're not going to get this photograph at all. If you're on the Canadian side, you can get that angle, but you're not going to get it. That's my rooster. If you're on the Canadian side, you can see that view, but not from that angle. So I'm pretty low in that photo, and the only way to do that is from a boat. So the angles make a real difference, and your point of view will make a real difference in a photo. The other thing I want to mention on that Niagara Falls photo is that one was taken with my cell phone. I have a waterproof case that I will put my phone in different situations, and it works really well. Keeps the camera or the phone protected, and I don't have to worry about taking my pro level camera into the water near Niagara Falls. So you can definitely get good pictures with your cell phone as well as a point and shoot or a professional level camera. The next thing I want to mention is scale. So a lot of times when we go to things, there are people. I mean, we're on a trip, we're at a touristy area, and other people want to hike the same areas that we are. So you can be very patient and wait for people to move out of the way before you take the photo. That may not happen. You may go somewhere where there are going to be people. And if you look at this next picture that I'm going to show you, this is of the Washington Monument in DC, and there is absolutely no way that I was going to get a picture of this without people in it. So I chose to use those people to show scale, and you can see the people at the bottom of the photo, you can see the flagpoles, and then it just makes the monument look that much bigger because you can see the scale and you can see how big it actually is. The next picture that you're going to see is another one of Niagara, and you'll notice to the right of that photo, you'll see people in little yellow rain slickers, and I really wanted those people in that picture because I wanted to show the magnitude of the falls. So that was an intentional shot with the people in it. Plus, I like that pop of yellow on the side of the picture there. All right, the next tip I want to give you guys is to look a little bit deeper in your photos. This next one is also at Arlington National Cemetery, and this is at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier where they do the changing of the guard. And if you've been there, you know that there is a set of bleachers sort of in the front. I don't really want to call them bleachers, but they're steps. And there is a roped off area. Because of that, many of the pictures that you see at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier are very similar. And I took hundreds of pictures. Many of my pictures are very similar to other people's pictures that were taken there. This is my favorite picture from Arlington, and you know, not everybody's going to like it, but for me, this is, you know, it was my trip, and this was one of my favorite pictures from it, and it's been very popular. And it is the shadow of the guard from that particular half hour that was guarding the tomb. And I just really liked the way that it turned out. I looked a little bit deeper into the scene. I saw this and I thought, you know what, I want that picture. It was very symbolic to me, and so that's the picture that I captured. So this next picture is from hiking, and I was over near the gorge over in Kentucky, the Red River Gorge. And this one, it was kind of that thing, it made me look twice, so I took a picture of it. And it's the roots that were growing down onto the rock. I just thought it looked really cool, so I took a picture of it. The last thing I want to mention is animals. So this is not a video on wildlife photography, but we often go to places where we're going to have the opportunity to take pictures of animals. In this video, I'm going to show you guys this. There's a picture of a squirrel also at Arlington. The animals, especially the squirrels at Arlington and in DC, are so used to people that they're not likely to flee if you're just walking around. I was using a longer lens for this photo, and I crouched down so that I could get a better picture of it. I was not up front and close with this squirrel. It wasn't even within arm's reach of me, but I was able to get some pretty good pictures of it. So you got to be quick. You got to be respectful of the wildlife. It seems like every year we hear about somebody being mauled by a bear or gored by a bison because people wanted to get a really good picture and they got too close. There's always a possibility that if somebody gets hurt by an animal, that they're going to be forced to put that animal down because it's going to be seen as, you know, vicious and a threat. So, you know, give them their space, let them do their thing, and take a picture from a distance. You can always crop it later. So those are my travel tips for this month. Angles, light, scale, look a little bit deeper, and then of course animals. And you're going to want to take pictures of your family and your friends and yourself in your photos, and go ahead and do that. You guys know how to take pictures, you know, candid style of your family. Make sure that you get a couple of close-ups, make sure that you get the whole scene in the background of whatever it is that you're wanting to get your picture of, a landscape, you know, whatever it is that took you to that place. Make sure that you get the pictures of it. Have fun on your travels, be safe, and if you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to comment on this post, and I will get back to you with an answer as soon as I can. Thanks a lot.